Jack Porter stood on the bridge of the USS Defiant. The ship was quiet. The soft beep of computers and the low hum of engines were the only sounds. Through the main window, stars stretched out into the darkness of space. This was humanity's newest and most powerful warship, and Jack was its commander. "Status report," Jack said, his voice calm but firm. "All systems normal, sir," said Alan Hughes from the tactical station. "Weapons and shields at full capacity." Jack nodded. After years of being pushed around by the Acridian Empire, Earth had finally built a ship that could stand up to them. The Defiant looked like a normal warship from the outside, sleek and gray with the standard Earth fleet markings. But inside, it held secrets. Its weapons, shields, and computer systems were far beyond anything humans had made before. "Message from Earth Command, sir," said Ellie Campos, the communications officer. Her fingers moved quickly over her screen. "Admiral, Susan Miller wishes to speak with you." "Put her through," Jack ordered. The main screen changed to show Admiral Miller's face. Her gray hair was pulled back tightly, and her expression was serious. "Commander Porter," she said, "I have new orders for you. The situation with the Acridians has gotten worse. They've refused all our attempts to talk peacefully." Jack wasn't surprised. The Acridians had been treating humans like lesser beings for decades. They controlled most of the good planets and trade routes in this part of space. When humans tried to expand or trade, the Acridians pushed them back. "What are our orders, Admiral?" Jack asked. "Take the Defiant to the Proxima sector. Show our flag there. Let the Acridians see that we won't be pushed around anymore." Jack understood what she wasn't saying. The Defiant was meant to be a message, a warning that humans were no longer weak. "Do we have permission to engage if attacked?" Jack asked. "Admiral," Miller paused, "your main mission is to observe and report. But you have permission to defend yourself and any human ships or stations if they come under direct attack." After the call ended, Jack called his senior officers to the meeting room. They needed to know what they were heading into. Tanya Ross, the chief engineer, spoke first. "Sir, I need to remind you that some of our systems are still untested in real battle conditions. The shield harmonics especially, they're supposed to adapt to enemy weapons, but we've only tested them in simulations." Jack nodded. "Noted, Chief. What about weapons, Hughes?" Alan Hughes sat up straighter. He was young and eager to prove himself. "Our quantum phase cannons are ready, sir. According to all tests, they should cut through Acridian shields like they're paper. Let's hope we don't need to find out," Jack said. Lisa Ward, the intelligence officer, cleared her throat. "You should all see this." She put an image on the screen showing many Acridian ships gathering. "This was taken yesterday. The Acridians are moving their entire third fleet toward human space. That's over 30 warships, including their heavy cruisers." The room went quiet. Everyone knew what that meant. The Acridians were preparing for war. "Our orders stand," Jack said finally. "We leave for Proxima in 1 hour. Check your stations and prepare for possible combat." The Defiant left Earth orbit, smoothly. Its engines were another marvel of human engineering, faster and more efficient than anything in the fleet. The journey to Proxima would take just 3 days instead of the normal 7. During those days, the crew trained and prepared. The ship's AI system, nicknamed Bella by the crew, ran battle simulations. Jack watched his crew work together, growing more confident with each passing hour. "Tell me about our shields again," Jack said to Tanya on the 3rd day. "They're adaptive," she explained. "Each time they're hit by an enemy weapon, they analyze the energy pattern and adjust to resist it better next time. At least that's the theory." "And no one else has this technology?" "No one we know of," Tanya said. "It was developed in secret. Same with our weapons and the AI tactical system." Jack wondered if it would be enough. The Defiant was just one ship after all. When they arrived at Proxima, they found chaos. The small human space station there was surrounded by Acridian ships. 5 cruisers were firing warning shots, and the station's shields were already failing. "Status of the station?" Jack demanded. "Their shields are at 30%, Hughes reported. They're trying to evacuate civilians to transport ships, but the Acridians are blocking their path. Jack watched as a small transport ship tried to leave the station. An Acridian cruiser fired across its path, forcing it to turn back. "Sir," said Ellie Campos, "I'm receiving a distress call from the station. They're asking for immediate assistance." Jack remembered his orders: observe and report, but also defend human ships and stations if they came under direct attack. "Are there civilians on that station?" he asked. "Yes, sir," Lisa Ward replied. "About 300, including families of the station workers." That made his decision easier. "Battle stations," Jack ordered. "Plot an intercept course between those transport ships and the Acridian cruisers." The crew moved quickly. Alert signals sounded throughout the ship as everyone prepared for battle. "Send a message to the Acridian ships," Jack said. "Tell them, this is Commander Porter of the Earth Fleet vessel Defiant. We are here to ensure the safe evacuation of civilians from Proxima Station. Any ship that fires on civilian transports will be considered hostile and will be engaged." The Acridians responded quickly. "Human vessel, this is War Captain Zex of the Acridian Empire. This station is in violation of territorial agreements. Leave immediately or be destroyed." "They're powering up weapons, sir," Hughes reported. "Move us into position," Jack ordered. "Shields at maximum." The Defiant glided between the station and the Acridian ships. It was smaller than the Acridian cruisers, but it moved with surprising speed and grace. "Sir, the first transport is trying to leave again," Campos reported. On the screen, Jack saw the small ship emerge from the station. Immediately, one of the Acridian cruisers fired. "Intercept those shots," Jack ordered. The Defiant moved, placing itself in the path of the energy beams. The shields flared bright blue as they absorbed the impact. "Shields holding at 95%, Tanya reported, sounding surprised. "The adaptive system is working." "Target the cruiser that fired," Jack said. "Low power, warning shots only." The Defiant's weapons fired for the first time in actual combat. Beams of bright white energy lanced out, striking the Acridian ship's shields. "Sir, their shields dropped to 60% with just that shot," Hughes exclaimed. The Acridian ship tried to move away, but two more of their cruisers were already moving to attack the Defiant. "We have 3 cruisers targeting us now," Hughes reported. Jack stood up from his chair. "Full power to weapons. Target their propulsion systems and weapons arrays. Try not to destroy them if possible." What followed shocked everyone on the bridge. The Defiant's weapons cut through the Acridian shields with ease. Their adaptive shields absorbed hit after hit, growing stronger each time. And Bella, the AI system, predicted the enemy's movements so accurately that the Defiant seemed to always be one step ahead. In less than 10 minutes, one Acridian cruiser was drifting powerless, another had lost its main weapons, and the third was retreating with heavy damage. The remaining 2 Acridian ships quickly backed away from the station. "All Acridian vessels are withdrawing from the area, sir," Hughes reported, his voice filled with awe. Jack could hardly believe it himself. One ship, their ship, had just forced 5 Acridian cruisers to retreat. "Damage report?" he asked. "Minor. Damage to outer hull plating. Shield still at 70%, Tanya said. "Sir, the adaptive technology worked even better than we hoped." As the Defiant took up position near the station to protect the evacuating transports, Jack knew that everything had changed. The message they had come to deliver had been sent, louder and clearer than anyone could have expected. The USS Defiant was proof that one ship, with the right technology and the right crew, could indeed take on an entire fleet. And the Acridians had just learned that humans were no longer to be underestimated. The news of what happened at Proxima Station spread fast. The Defiant had defeated 3 Acridian cruisers and forced 2 others to retreat. One human ship had stood against 5 enemy vessels and won. It was something no one thought possible. Jack Porter sat in his quarters on the Defiant, reading reports from Earth. The ship was still positioned near Proxima Station, helping with repairs and continuing to protect the evacuation ships. He rubbed his tired eyes. They had been on high alert for 48 hours now. A soft beep came from his door. "Come in," Jack said. Ellie Campos entered, holding a data tablet. "Sir, we've received new orders from Admiral Miller." Jack took the tablet and frowned as he read. They want us to withdraw? Yes, sir. Earth Command is worried we've provoked the Acridians too much. Jack understood their fear. For decades, humans had tried to avoid direct conflict with the Acridian Empire. The Defiant was built as a last resort, a way to show strength if diplomacy failed. No one had expected its first mission to turn into a battle. We'll prepare to leave in 6 hours, Jack said. Make sure all the civilian transports are safely away first. Ellie nodded and left. Jack stared out his small window at the stars. Something told him this was just the beginning. On the bridge later that day, Lisa Ward approached Jack with concerned eyes. Commander, long-range sensors have detected something, she said quietly. What is it? A massive Acridian battle group has entered the system. 15 warships, including a dreadnought. Jack felt his stomach tighten. A dreadnought was the largest and most powerful ship in the Acridian fleet, and it was coming with 14 other warships. Time until they reach us? 3 hours at their current speed. Jack called his senior officers together quickly. They gathered around the tactical display, faces serious. We have orders to withdraw, Jack told them. But if we leave now, the Acridians will destroy Proxima Station. There are still over 100 civilians there waiting for transport. Can we outrun them? Tanya Ross asked. Not while protecting the civilian ships, Alan Hughes replied. The Defiant is fast, but those transport ships are slow. Jack looked at the display, studying the incoming enemy fleet and the position of Proxima Station. What if we make a stand? Right here. The room went quiet. Everyone was thinking the same thing. 1 ship against 15? It seemed impossible. Sir, said Ellie Campos, I've intercepted Acridian communications. They're planning to destroy Proxima Station as punishment for what happened. Their exact words were, no mercy will be shown. Jack made his decision. We'll position the Defiant between the station and the incoming fleet. We can use the asteroid field to our advantage. Alan, Hughes brought up a 3D map of the area. If we stay close to the larger asteroids, we can limit how many ships can attack us at once. Exactly, Jack agreed. Their numbers won't help them as much in there. As they prepared, a man Jack hadn't seen before entered the bridge. He wore a science uniform rather than military. Commander Porter. I'm Dr. Paul Green. I helped design the Defiant's core systems. Jack shook his hand. No one told me you were on board. I was supposed to monitor the ship's performance during its first mission, Dr. Green explained. But now I need to tell you something important. He lowered his voice. The Defiant isn't operating at full capacity. Jack stared at him. What do you mean? Safety protocols were installed to prevent system overload during the ship's maiden voyage. The Defiant is running at about 70% of its true capabilities. Can these protocols be removed? Dr. Green nodded. Yes, but it's risky. The systems haven't been tested at full power outside of simulations. Jack thought about the 15 enemy ships heading their way. Do it, he ordered. We'll need every advantage we can get. As Dr. Green left with Tanya to work on the ship's systems, Jack addressed the entire crew through the ship's communication system. This is Commander Porter. In 3 hours, we will face an Acridian battle group that outnumbers us 15-1. Our mission is to protect Proxima Station until all civilians are evacuated. This goes against our orders to withdraw, so I take full responsibility for this decision. Anyone who objects can record their disagreement in the ship's log. He paused, then continued. The Defiant has already proven herself in battle once. Today we'll see what she's truly capable of. Porter out. No one recorded any objections. 2 hours later, the Defiant moved into position at the edge of the asteroid field. The civilian transports were leaving Proxima Station one by one, taking different escape routes to avoid capture. Acridian fleet will be in weapons range in 30 minutes, Lisa reported. Status of the ship's systems? Jack asked. Dr. Green and I have removed about half the safety protocols, Tanya replied from engineering. Power output is now at 85% and rising. Weapons are ready, sir, Alan added. And I've been working with Bella on some new tactical approaches. The ship's AI system, Bella, had been analyzing the previous battle and developing strategies. Its voice came through the speakers, calm and almost human-like. "Commander, I suggest we target their lead ships first. My analysis shows the Acridians follow a hierarchical command structure. If we disable their leadership vessels, it will create confusion among the others." "Good thinking, Bella," Jack said. "How many ships can our weapons target simultaneously?" "With current power levels, 3 targets at once." Jack nodded. "Then that's what we'll do. Target the first 3 ships that enter the asteroid field." The minutes ticked by. On the main screen, they could see the Acridian ships approaching. Gray metal giants with red markings. Weapons ports open and ready. "They're hailing us," Ellie said. "Put them through." The screen showed an Acridian commander, his scaled face and yellow eyes filled with rage. "Human vessel, this is War Leader, Corax of the Imperial Fleet. You have violated our territory and attacked our ships. Surrender now or be destroyed." Jack stood tall. "This is Commander Porter of the USS Defiant. We are here to protect Proxima Station and its civilians. Any hostile action against them will be met with force." Corax made a sound like laughter. "One ship against my fleet? Your human arrogance is amusing." The screen went black as the Acridian cut the communication. "They're launching fighters," Lisa warned, "and 3 cruisers are breaking formation heading into the asteroid field." "Just as we expected," Jack said. "Bella, target those cruisers. Full power to forward shields." The battle began. The Defiant moved between large asteroids, using them as cover. When the first Acridian cruiser came into view, the Defiant's weapons fired. Beams of energy, more powerful than before, struck the enemy ship. Its shields flared brightly but failed almost immediately. "Direct hit," Allen reported. "Their main weapons are disabled." The Defiant turned quickly, targeting the second cruiser. This time the Acridian was ready and fired first. Energy blasts hit the Defiant's shields. "Shields holding at 90%, Tanya called out. "The adaptive system is learning their weapon frequencies." The battle continued like this for over an hour. The Defiant would strike quickly, then hide among the asteroids. Its adaptive shields grew stronger with each hit they took. The ship's AI predicted enemy movements with uncanny accuracy. By the time they were forced to retreat due to low power reserves, the Defiant had disabled 3 more Acridian ships and severely damaged a 4th. As they pulled back to regroup near Proxima Station, the crew could hardly believe what they had accomplished. Their one ship had effectively fought against an entire fleet. But War Leader Corax was not defeated. His remaining ships gathered at the edge of the asteroid field, preparing for a full assault. And the real battle was just beginning. The Defiant limped away from the battle, its energy reserves dangerously low. The ship had taken more damage this time. Not all of the Acridian weapons had been stopped by the shields. Jack ordered the ship to hide behind Proxima Station's moon while they made repairs. "Status report," Jack said, walking through the smoke-filled engine room. Tanya Ross wiped sweat from her face as she worked on a damaged power conduit. "We lost 2 shield generators. Main power is at 40%. We need at least 3 hours to get back to fighting shape." "Do we have 3 hours?" Jack asked. Tanya looked unsure. "Maybe, if they don't find us here." Jack nodded and headed back to the bridge. The crew was tired but still working hard. Some had minor injuries from when the ship had been hit hard enough to throw people from their stations. "Update on the Acridian fleet?" Jack asked Lisa Ward. "They're searching the asteroid field for us," she replied. "But their ships are damaged, too. The Dreadnought is staying back, probably making repairs." "And the civilian transports?" "4 have already jumped to safety. 2 more are loading the last civilians now." That was good news at least. Jack sat in his command chair thinking about their next move. The Defiant had proven it could fight well above its weight, but they couldn't keep this up forever. Not against so many enemies. Dr. Green approached him, looking excited despite the situation. "Commander, I think we can get more power from the engines if we remove the rest of the safety protocols." "You said that was risky," Jack reminded him. "It is. But I've been monitoring the systems. They're holding up better than expected. With full power, we might be able to take on that Dreadnought." Jack considered this. The Dreadnought was the biggest threat. If they could disable it, the rest of the Acridian fleet might retreat. Do it, he ordered. But be careful. I need this ship in one piece. While the Defiant made repairs, war leader Corax gathered his remaining ships. He had lost 5 vessels to this one human ship. It was humiliating. His commanders were beginning to question his leadership. The human vessel has technology we have not seen before, one of his officers said. Perhaps we should report back to the Empire before continuing. Corax slammed his fist on the table. No, I will not return in defeat. This human ship will be destroyed today. He ordered his fleet to spread out and find the Defiant no matter what it took. Back on the Defiant, Jack received a message from Earth. Admiral Miller's face appeared on the screen, and she did not look happy. Commander Porter, you were ordered to withdraw. Yes, Admiral, Jack replied. But there were civilians. I know why you stayed, she interrupted. And unofficially, I support your decision. But officially, I have to tell you that what you're doing has caused a political storm back home. She explained that Earth was divided. Some leaders wanted to use the Defiant's success as a way to negotiate with the Acridians from a position of strength. Others saw it as humanity's chance to finally push back against years of Acridian control. What are my orders now? Jack asked. Admiral Miller sighed. Complete the evacuation of Proxima Station. Then, if possible, disengage and return to Earth. The Defiant project was never meant to start a war. After the call ended, Jack met with his senior officers. We have new information, said Lisa Ward. Our intelligence suggests the Acridians have been tracking the Defiant project for years. They may know more about our ship than we thought. Is there a spy? Jack asked. Possibly. But right now we have a bigger problem. The Acridians are consolidating their forces. According to our long-range scans, they're calling in reinforcements. Nearly 40 ships. The room went silent. Even the Defiant couldn't fight that many ships. What about support from Earth? Alan Hughes asked. Earth has only a handful of conventional warships, Jack said. They'd be destroyed quickly against Acridian technology. Dr. Green cleared his throat. There's something else you should know, Commander. The Defiant wasn't just built as a defensive measure. It was designed to be the prototype for a new class of vessels. He explained that Earth scientists had been working on this technology for over a decade. The Defiant was the first ship to use it, but more were planned. If the ship was destroyed, the technology might be lost before production of additional ships could begin. So we're truly one of a kind, Jack said quietly. For now, yes, Dr. Green confirmed. Jack thought about everything at stake. The lives of his crew, the future of human space travel, the balance of power with the Acridians. The last civilian transport will leave in 30 minutes, Ellie Campos reported. Proxima Station will be empty then. Good, Jack said. Once they're clear, we'll make our move. What's the plan, sir? Alan asked. Jack stood up and walked to the tactical display. We can't win against their entire fleet, but we don't have to. We just need to hurt them enough that they think twice before attacking human settlements again. He pointed to the dreadnought on the display. That's our target. War leader Corax's flagship. We disable it, then run. The dreadnought will be heavily guarded, Lisa warned. That's why we'll use full power this time, Jack said. Dr. Green, how are the modifications coming? Almost done. The Defiant will be operating at 100% capacity in 20 minutes. Perfect. As they prepared for their final attack, Jack recorded a message to be sent to Earth if things went wrong. He explained his decisions and took full responsibility. He praised his crew for their courage and skill. Then he deleted the recording. They weren't going to fail. The Defiant's engines hummed with new power as the last safety protocols were removed. The lights on the bridge seemed brighter. The weapons charged faster. The ship felt alive in a way it hadn't before. All stations. Report ready, sir, Ellie announced. Final civilian transport has jumped to safety, Lisa added. Proxima Station is now empty. Jack took a deep breath. Helm, set course for the Acridian dreadnought. Maximum speed. The Defiant shot out from behind the moon, moving faster than any human ship had moved before. Its sensors detected 8 Acridian cruisers guarding the dreadnought. They've seen us, Alan reported. Enemy ships are moving to intercept. Bella, Jack called to the ship's AI. Show us what you can really do. The AI's calm voice replied, initiating advanced tactical protocols. Full weapon systems online, target acquisition complete. What happened next amazed even the Defiant's own crew. The ship moved with impossible grace, dodging enemy fire. Its weapons struck with perfect accuracy, hitting the weakest points in Acridian shields. When surrounded, the Defiant would change direction so quickly it seemed to disappear and reappear, somewhere else. 2 Acridian cruisers were disabled in the first minute of battle. A third lost its engines soon after. The Defiant took hits too, but its adaptive shields were now operating at full capacity, growing stronger with each attack. Kyo, Dreadnought began firing its main cannons, massive energy beams that could cut through normal shields instantly, but the Defiant wasn't normal. Its shields flared brilliantly but held. We're within range of the Dreadnought's command center, Alan reported. Target their main power core and weapon systems, Jack ordered. Fire everything we've got. The Defiant unleashed its full arsenal at the heart of the Acridian flagship. The Dreadnought's shields buckled, then failed completely. The Defiant's weapons tore into the massive ship, causing explosions across its hull. On his damaged bridge, War Leader Korax watched in disbelief as his mighty ship was crippled by a vessel 1/10 its size. This isn't possible, he growled. BR. Defiant pulled away from the wounded Dreadnought, its mission accomplished. But as it turned to leave, an urgent message came through. Commander, Ellie said, her face pale. We're receiving a priority transmission from Earth. Long-range sensors have detected the main Acridian armada, over 50 ships, on a direct course for the Sol system. Jack's victory was short-lived. The real battle was about to begin, and this time, Earth itself was the target. The Defiant raced through space, pushing its engines beyond what they were designed for. Earth needed them. The massive Acridian armada was only 3 days away from the Sol system, and the Defiant was the planet's best hope. Engine status? Jack asked, his voice tense. Running at 110%, Tanya replied from engineering. I don't recommend pushing them any harder. The ship had taken damage in its battle with the Dreadnought. Several systems were still being repaired. The crew worked in shifts trying to fix everything before they reached Earth. Can we go any faster? Jack pressed. Sir, if we push the engines more, they might fail completely, Tanya warned. Then we'd be stuck. Jack nodded. He knew she was right, but every minute mattered now. Dr. Green had been working non-stop on the ship's systems. He approached Jack on the bridge. Commander, I've been thinking about why the Acridians are sending such a large force to Earth. They want revenge for what we did at Proxima, Jack said. It's more than that, Dr. Green replied. I think they're afraid of us. Or more specifically, afraid of this ship and what it represents. Jack considered this. The Defiant had shown capabilities far beyond anything humans had revealed before. The adaptive shields, the advanced weapons, the AI system, all of it was cutting-edge technology that could change the balance of power in the galaxy. They want to crush us before we can build more ships like the Defiant, Jack realized. Exactly, Dr. Green said. This isn't just about Proxima anymore, it's about the future. 2 days later, the Defiant arrived at Earth. The planet looked peaceful. From space, blue and green with white clouds swirling across its surface. But in orbit, there was frantic activity. Earth had gathered every available ship for defense, a mere 20 vessels of varying sizes and capabilities. Admiral Miller met Jack and his senior officers in the orbital command station. Her face was grim. The Acridian armada will arrive in 18 hours, she said. We've assembled everything we have, but she didn't need to finish. Everyone knew it wouldn't be enough. What's the condition of the Defiant? She asked. We've repaired most of the damage, Jack reported. Dr. Green and Chief Ross have the engines and weapons at full capacity again. Good, because we're going to need more than that. Admiral Miller brought up a display showing the approaching Acridian fleet. 53 ships, including 3 dreadnoughts. The room fell silent. Even with the Defiant at full strength, those were impossible odds. Do we have a plan? Jack asked. Admiral Miller nodded. We do, but you're not going to like it. The plan was desperate. Earth's other ships would form a defensive line around the planet, focusing on protecting civilian centers. Meanwhile, the Defiant would take the fight directly to the Acridians, targeting their command ships. "It's a suicide mission," Lisa Ward said when they returned to the Defiant. "Not necessarily," Jack replied, though he wasn't convinced himself. "We've beaten the odds before." The Defiant entered space dock for final preparations. Tanya and Dr. Green worked frantically to push the ship's systems even further. "I think we can get more power from the engines," Dr. Green said. "If we bypass the emergency cutoffs entirely." "That could cause a core breach if we push too hard," Tanya warned. "We don't have a choice," Dr. Green responded. "We need every advantage we can get." Meanwhile, Alan Hughes and the AI Bella analyzed all data from previous encounters with Acridian vessels, identifying patterns and weaknesses. "Their flagship dreadnoughts always stay at the center of their formation," Alan explained during the final briefing. "They're well protected, but if we can get close enough, they have a vulnerability near their engine exhaust ports." "Getting close enough is the hard part," Jack said. Bella's voice joined the conversation. "I have developed new evasive patterns based on Acridian attack formations. With our speed and maneuverability, we can penetrate their lines if we time it correctly." As the hours ticked down, Jack walked through the ship, speaking with the crew. They were scared, anyone would be, but they were also determined. Each person on board had family or friends on Earth. They knew what was at stake. Finally, the moment arrived. The Acridian armada appeared at the edge of the solar system, a swarm of warships moving in perfect formation. Earth's defenders took their positions. The Defiant, newly repaired and powered beyond its design specifications, launched from space dock. "All hands to battle stations," Jack ordered. "This is it." The battle began with a massive Acridian assault. Their ships spread out across Earth's orbit, firing at the planet's meager defenses. Earth's ships fought bravely but were quickly pushed back by the overwhelming enemy numbers. The Defiant, now operating at 130% of its designed capacity, tore through the enemy formation, heading directly for the three dreadnoughts commanding the attack. Its adaptive shields glowed brightly as they absorbed hit after hit, learning and adjusting to each weapon fired against them. "First line of ships breached," Alan reported as the Defiant shot past several Acridian cruisers. "Target the nearest dreadnought," Jack ordered. "All weapons." The Defiant fired everything it had. Beams of energy cut through space, striking the first dreadnought's shields. The massive ship shuddered under the impact but remained intact. "Their shields are stronger than the ones at Proxima," Tanya reported. "We need to hit them again." The Defiant circled around for another attack, but now the Acridians were focusing on them. A dozen ships broke from the main fleet to pursue the Defiant. "Evasive pattern Delta," Jack ordered. "Bella, find us a path back to that dreadnought." "Calculating," the AI responded. "Path found, but it has only a 23% chance of success." "We'll take it," Jack said firmly. What followed was a series of maneuvers that no human pilot could have executed. The Defiant twisted and turned through space, sometimes seeming to be in multiple places at once, as it used short bursts of its engines to change direction instantly. Acridian weapons fire passed through empty space where the Defiant had been just moments before. "We're approaching the dreadnought," Ellie announced. 5 seconds to weapons range." "Divert all power to forward weapons," Jack ordered. "Target their engine exhausts as Hughes suggested." The Defiant's weapons fired, their power boosted beyond normal limits. The beams struck the dreadnought precisely where Alan had indicated. For a moment, nothing happened. Then explosions rippled across the massive ship's hull as its power systems overloaded. "Direct hit," Alan exclaimed. "Their main power is failing." The dreadnought began to drift, its weapons and shields shutting down. But the Defiant had no time to celebrate. The second dreadnought was already turning to engage them, and the Defiant's shields were weakening from the constant attacks. "Shields, at 60%, Tanya reported. "We can't take much more of this." "Second dreadnought is launching fighters," Lisa warned. "At least 30 of them heading our way." Jack gripped his chair as the ship shook from another hit. "Bella, We need another miracle. I am calculating all possible outcomes, Commander, the AI replied. But our options are limited. The Defiant spun away from a barrage of enemy fire, its engines straining with the effort. Jack knew they couldn't keep this up much longer, but they had to try. Earth was depending on them. Take us in again, he ordered. Let's show them what one ship can really do. The Defiant spun through space, its hull glowing red from the heat of enemy weapons fire. Inside, warning alarms blared as systems began to fail one by one. Shields down to 40%, Tanya reported from engineering. Her voice was steady, but her face showed worry. Hull breaches on decks 3 and 4. Emergency force fields are holding, but barely. Jack nodded. They had managed to disable one dreadnought, but the other two were still attacking, along with dozens of smaller ships. Earth's defensive fleet was fighting bravely, but they were being pushed back toward the planet. Can we reach the second dreadnought? Jack asked. Alan studied the tactical display. Not directly. There are too many ships in the way. What about the third one? Jack suggested. It's further back, Lisa said, but there might be a path if we go around the main battle. Jack made his decision. Set course for the third dreadnought. Maximum speed. The Defiant shot forward, its engines straining. Several Acridian cruisers moved to intercept, but the Defiant was simply too fast. It weaved between enemy ships, taking hits but never stopping. On the Acridian command dreadnought, war leader Corax watched in disbelief. He had barely escaped the battle at Proxima in a rescue ship, and now he found himself facing the same human vessel again. That ship should have been destroyed by now, he snarled to his officers. Focus all fire on it. But the Defiant was a difficult target. Even damaged, it moved with grace and speed that surprised the Acridians. Its adaptive shields continued to resist their weapons, though they were weakening with each hit. Back on the Defiant, Dr. Green rushed onto the bridge. Commander, we have a problem. The power core is becoming unstable. If we keep pushing it, like this, it could breach. How long do we have? Jack asked. 20 minutes, maybe less, Dr. Green replied. Jack looked at the tactical display. 20 minutes might be enough time to reach the third dreadnought, but not enough to return to safety afterward. Sir, said Ellie Campos from communications. I'm picking up strange transmissions from some of the Acridian ships. They're arguing with each other. Put it on speaker, Jack ordered. The bridge filled with angry Acridian voices speaking in their harsh language. Not everyone understood it, but Lisa Ward did. They're questioning their orders, she translated. Some of the ship captains are saying this attack on Earth is dishonorable. They're impressed by our stand against such overwhelming odds. Jack saw an opportunity. Can we use this? Send a message to those ships? I can try, Ellie said. What should I say? Jack thought quickly. Tell them that we don't want war. We just want to be treated as equals. Say that if they help us now, humans will remember it forever. While Ellie prepared the message, the Defiant continued its run toward the third dreadnought. Its weapons fired constantly, taking out smaller Acridian ships that got in the way. We're almost in range of the dreadnought, Alan reported. Weapon status? Jack asked. Main weapons at 65% power. It might not be enough to penetrate. They're shields. We'll have to get closer then, Jack said. Right up next to them where their shields are thinnest. It was a dangerous plan. The dreadnought's point defense weapons would tear them apart at such close range, but they had no choice. The Defiant accelerated, taking hit after hit as it closed in on the massive enemy ship. Its shields flickered, sometimes failing completely before coming back online. Shields failing, Tanya reported. Down to 15% and falling. Divert all remaining power to engines and weapons, Jack ordered. We get one shot at this. The ship shuddered as it pushed forward. Parts of the hull were now exposed to space, with only emergency force fields preventing catastrophic decompression. In range, Alan announced. Firing now. The Defiant unleashed everything it had left. Beams of energy struck the dreadnought precisely where its shields were weakest. For a moment, it seemed like it wasn't enough. Then explosions rippled across the dreadnought's surface. Direct hit, Alan shouted. Their weapon systems are failing. But the Defiant had given everything it had. The ship drifted now, its engines sputtering and dying. Power flickered throughout the vessel. Core breach imminent, Dr. Green warned. 5 minutes at most. Jack looked around at his crew. They had done the impossible, disabling 2 dreadnoughts with their 1 ship. But now they were defenseless, and the remaining Acridian ships were closing in. "Prepare to abandon ship," Jack said quietly. "Send the evacuation signal." Before anyone could move, Ellie called out in surprise. "Sir, several Acridian ships they're firing on their own dreadnought." On the main screen, they watched in amazement as 5 Acridian cruisers turned their weapons on the remaining dreadnought. More ships followed their lead, breaking away from the main fleet. "They got our message," Lisa said in wonder. "They're rebelling against Corax." The battle turned chaotic as Acridian ships fired on each other. The remaining dreadnought found itself under attack from its own escorts. Meanwhile, Earth's defenders rallied, pushing back against the confused enemy fleet. "Commander," Ellie said, "we're being hailed by one of the Acridian cruisers." The screen showed an Acridian captain, his scaled face solemn. "Human vessel, I am Captain Vex of the cruiser Tenacity. Your courage has shown us that the path of blind conquest is dishonorable. Many of us have questioned war leader Corax's orders for years. We offer you assistance." Jack could hardly believe what he was hearing. "Our power core is about to breach. We need to evacuate." "We will send rescue ships," Vex promised, "and we will ensure that Corax faces justice for this dishonorable attack." As the Defiant's crew prepared to abandon ship, rescue vessels from both Earth and the rebel Acridian ships approached. The battle around them was ending as more and more Acridian ships either retreated or joined the rebellion against Corax. 3 weeks later, Jack Porter stood in a large meeting hall on Earth. Admiral Miller had just pinned medals on him and his entire crew for their extraordinary service. The Defiant was gone, but its legacy remained. "Thanks to your actions," Admiral Miller told him afterward, "the Acridians have requested formal peace negotiations for the first time in 50 years. The rebels who helped us have formed a new faction within their empire, one that wants peaceful relations with humans." Jack nodded, still finding it hard to believe how much had changed. "And the new ships?" he asked. Admiral Miller smiled. "Come see for yourself." She led him to a viewing platform overlooking a massive orbital shipyard. There, taking shape in the void, were 3 new vessels. They looked similar to the Defiant, but larger and even more advanced. "The first ships of the new Defiant class," Admiral Miller said proudly, "and they want you to command them." Jack gazed at the ships, thinking of all they had been through. One ship had stood against an empire and changed the course of history. Now humanity would have a fleet of them. "When do we leave?" he asked simply. "As soon as they're ready," Admiral Miller replied. "The galaxy's waiting for us, Jack." As he watched the new ships under construction, Jack thought about what they represented. Not just humanity's defense, but a new era of peace through strength. The Defiant had proven that sometimes one ship, with the right technology and the right crew, truly could take on an entire fleet and win.